Hey everybody, it's Zach Clayton with Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PAC channel. We are here on family networking. I've got to keep the side screen on so you guys can see when people come in. But Probably not going to open up the messages on the side because we learned last week or last month, not a good idea when you're typing back and forth and talking about people. I'm joking. It's just messages that nobody needs to see. Our purpose on this networking is a little bit different. We want our dear friends that are in the Community Pay It Forward family. We want to get across what we do, share who we are, and talk in order to make our communities better. One of the other things that we're really trying to make sure that happens is we want to share our story. Who are we? What are our plans? What do we support? And how are we going to make the world a better place? We invite anybody to come and join us and tell your story, including people who are looking to start a new career. Come on, give your verbal resume. And we've got some wonderful people here who potentially know somebody who can help you with the new job. This is a great time. Everyone here has helped us in different ways, and I thank everybody for being here. Emily, I would appreciate it if you would come on and tell us a little bit about a lot of the things that you do. Or ignore me. I think ignore me is what she's going to do right now. So, Holly, let's go with you. Please come on and tell us who you are, what you do. And Z, why don't we go for 3 minutes? Z is going to be our timekeeper today.
Wow. Okay. Well, I had no idea what to expect. So I'm popping on. My name is Holly Miller. I don't know. I'm a mom. I live in Rifle, Colorado. I own three businesses. One is for natural health and wellness. I help people understand natural health and wellness, and I help support their journey in that. The other is I am a trauma recovery coach, so I help women overcome sexual trauma from their past. I have a very long story about that myself. And I am now a certified Reset It specialist, which simply means that I get to help tap into people's brains and let them understand what belongs to them and what doesn't. It is based on neuroscience and quantum physics. So, what you put out in the world, you receive back. And it's a wonderful way to help just consider the thoughts that you have going on in the back of your mind that you are not intentionally trying to think of that infiltrate your daily life, and you have a physical response from those. Those are programs and conditions that don't belong to you. They were given to you by society, by your parents, by teachers, even yourself. You can talk yourself into a lot of things, and it sits in your limbic system as truth. And so when we go on in our daily life, if you've ever experienced a time where you are driving, you're doing maybe a drive that you do every day, and all of a sudden you look up and you think, oh my gosh, how the heck did I get here? That's because during that drive, you are on autopilot and you're thinking all of these thoughts in your head. Oh man, I should have done this at work today. Man, I wish I had done that. If I had done that better, I probably would have gotten a raise. Oh my gosh, I still need a raise because if I had a raise, my kids would have such a better vacation coming up. Instead of just going camping, we could have gone to Disney World, which I've been promising Disney World. And man, I really wish I had the money for, man, I really screwed up. I should have done that at work today. I can't believe I'm such a loser. And these thoughts just continually happen in our mind, and they are sitting in your subconscious brain. I help Number one, teach you how to recognize when you are in a program or condition. And then number two, I ask you if you want to reset it. And then I help teach you how to do that if that's something that you wish to do. So it's just a basic little teaching program. Super fun. And I would love to show anybody how to do that.
Holly, you're also part of our program, and I want to thank you very much. You are part of the Community Pay It Forward program. One of the other things that you have going, I'd like to give you just a little bit of extra time, is you've got a program where you're trying to help the people who are victims of the two horrific storms on the East Coast. Can you tell us about your program and what you guys at Deltsera are trying to accomplish?
Sure. So we know tragedies happen and they happen worldwide. Well, we've had a couple of recent hurricanes happen in Florida and in North Carolina, and we know they were pretty devastating. And so I'm with doTERRA, which is an essential oil company, and they have partnered with a nonprofit organization called the Healing Hands Foundation. And they have come up with hygiene kits that you can purchase and have shipped over to these areas in the world. And it just happens to be in our neck of the woods right now where these hygiene kits are really needed. And so for $25 per hygiene kit, you have boots on the ground. I have boots on the ground that are delivering these kits out to people who need them. And so it consists of tea tree oil, which is antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral, and antiparasitic, which is huge when you have an abundance of water. There's a lot of parasitic activity that happens, and we know bacterial growth and whatnot. It has a toothbrush in there. It has a washcloth, soap, just basic hygiene needs that you don't even think of when you're displaced from your home. And so it's a really cool way of just giving back, and it's 100% goes to the product. It doesn't, there's no expenses getting paid out of this, and so it's a really nice way to just give back. And you can give $25 for one kit, or $1,000 for, you do the math, 250 kits, I think. So
Well,
it's just a
I
cool program. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you want to get a hold of Holly, all of the information is available at the link that you're going to see below. You can get a hold of Holly there, and remember, anytime that you do shop with Holly, she is a giving partner. You can help her out. If you want to use the Community Dare to Care QR code found on the Mission Partners page, and you want to support Holly's program, just let us know that's where you would like your donation to go. So it's very simple. Holly, thank you so very much. I do agree with you that when you look and when you feel clean, when you feel better, you just feel better. I know that even after traveling, I just feel gross because it's just, ugh. So, but thank you very much for joining us both weeks. Emily, are you with us now? I think she fell asleep. We've got to sleep her again. So, Kurt, are you with us? Or did you fall asleep too?
Well, a little bit of both. You just woke me up.
Yep. I tell us a little bit about yourself. You got 3 minutes, my friend.
3 minutes to win it. All right. Wish me luck. All right, here we go. This is a great position to be in right now. Because every time I'm on with, the PAC channel and Zach and this impact work, community pay it forward, I always reminisce to the early days when, Zach and I would talk, and I was involved when Zach got inspired to the whack. There we go. Yep. So I was back in the days when Zach got inspired to do these shows and all this live streaming. And wow, what a fantastic job and all the content. So Emily and I are constantly grabbing all the material here and restreaming it out onto our side of things on social media. And then vice versa. Emily's working on with all the shows that she helps create out there with a dozen other people to, get to bringing them into the pack channel and, what great stuff. So that's what I'm always networking about, is going out and saying we have these show opportunities, like the shows you do, Zach. So that's kind of my little shtick. The other side of it is people get to know me as a disability ally. So I've got quite a story to tell. In a minute, I'm not going to share it, but it stems from the story of water skiing, adaptive water skiing, and decades of taking people with disabilities water skiing,
Uh,
ministry, volunteerism, educational opportunities, lifelong learning, civic activities, the business front, and at the Happy Neighborhood Project, we created together H&P Ability and stuff like that. So I'm teaming up with People for a New America, who has one mission to heal our nation, here in the United States, and have people come together and have, healthy conversations that from the grassroots level and from one person to another, kind of like the program here with a miracle when a community comes together. And so that's the work that I'm doing, is in what we call collective impact, which happens here at the PAC channel and Community Pay It Forward, when you get the different sectors working together, like the business community with the nonprofit sector and all of the consumer marketplace. And I always say, what's fun gets done. Like I say, story is born out of water skiing for me. And so I like to learn what all of you like to do for fun, because to me, that's what drives it all. Because after all, we have to enjoy the journey, right, folks? So yeah, I'm a servant, a volunteer, and doing things on gratis and pro bono, and just saying, hey, how can I help? We're all about making the world a better place, and I just try to create the space and the platform that people can share their story, like right here at Family Net, Family Networking, and everything here that Zach and the Community Pay It Forward family is doing. So thanks for letting me be part of the family. Back to
no,
you.
no problem. Thank you, Kurt. I greatly appreciate it. We should be joined here in a minute by Mr. Alan Holmes. He's having troubles getting all logged in, but hopefully he'll be here in just a minute. Emily, are you ready to go now? Okay, she's just not going to play. So, Mr. Z, brother man, you are up.
I sure am, and I'm truly humbled to be here to stand or sit in front of the greats such as yourself. Hello, world. Hello, everyone. Holly, brother man Zach, Kurt, Emily, and the world who are watching this right now. My name is Z, or you can call me Mr. Z. I am a web developer and I am also a consultant that specializes in helping nonprofits, veteran business owners, and honest entrepreneurs like yourselves who are looking to announce upcoming events, book online appointments, or perhaps accept donations and sell products and services without the use of eBay or Jeff Bezos. I also provide a free consultation to those who are looking to get started on their brand new website and to those that have an existing website, but they're not comfortable with the idea of making changes to the back end of their websites. What do I mean by that? Just in case they have a WordPress website, a Squarespace website, a Wix website, Shopify, and custom code without the use of AI. So, with that being said, if you or anyone out there are looking to maintain, develop, or redevelop a custom ADA compliant website, and let me repeat that, a custom ADA compliant website, which is short for the Americans with Disabilities Act, which was passed by George H.W. Bush of July of 1990. Well, let's develop a website Z World is waiting for. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say, brother man. Back to you, sir.
I almost miss your background because you didn't do this thing. So he's usually got a virtual or a QR code over his shoulder. So, but
Sure do.
so Mr. Z, do you have anything else that you would like to share with us?
What I also like to share is not to step on your toes, brother man. If you hadn't had a chance to join the Community Pay It Forward program, you're going to give so much more to your community than you can possibly imagine. Which, in fact, the Community Pay It Forward has inspired me to do a referral program. And that is if you know someone in the community that's in need of a website, uh, I'd be more than happy to donate a portion of that to a nonprofit of your choice or a charitable organization like the Community Pay It Forward of your choice. So it's always about paying it forward, doing what's right for business owners, civilians, and American heroes like Specialist Allen, who served our country.
Well, I love working with you. You've been here from just about the very beginning, and I appreciate that so very much. And you're always one of my you're always one of the people who's been a backbone of the company. So thank you so very much.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Holmes, it's almost like you and I are seeing each other quite a bit lately.
It's Mrs. E's fault. No,
It's
I'm
true.
kidding you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here, sir. Nice to meet you, Miss Holly. I will soon meet you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your panel. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope life is treating you well. Thank you.
We're doing great. Why don't you give us an introduction? You got 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Uh-oh. That's a long time. No, yeah. Well, I really appreciate that. My name is Alan. I grew up in Compton, California. It's not a tagline. It's actually straight out of Compton. Back in the 70s. Hope I don't look at I'm 55, trying to go on 25. I don't know. I'm a big kid, but I specialize in connecting business owners, whether they are home-based or solopreneurs or entrepreneurs, network marketers, affiliate marketers with obviously legitimate, ethical, honest offers. Then I have another group of entrepreneurs. Those are individuals who are book writers, filmmakers, publishers, those who have new technologies. And then there's the third group, the everyday consumer. So in short, I call myself a human search engine because I simply do three things: collaborate, connect, and network. It has been my honor and privilege to work with Mr. Z through the past year in various different conversations and projects. And he introduced me and shared with me Mr. Zach Clayton, which I've been following for a while. So this is what I do. I zoom around the country, figuring out how I can be of service. Like I say, I grew up in Compton, almost became an actor, didn't work out, but that's all right. I kind of blinked once and sneezed twice, and I was in the military from 87 to 90, so I'm a proud 13 Bravo. So veterans are my heart. They're my world. They're ones that I really have their back, and they have mine. And then there's the disability channel, those with mental illness and physical abilities, because my wife has mental illness, so eradicating poverty, ending mental health stigma, and educating on financial literacy is what I do best. But in short, again, happy holidays, and to each one of you, thanks for allowing me to be part of your panel. And I see my favorite person of the year is Mr. Santa Papa has stepped into the mic, so I'm going to step back and let his reindeers land on the Zach Clayton show. And thank you, Mrs. Zach, for allowing me to be a part of your panel.
Well, thank you for joining us, Alan. I greatly appreciate it. And as you mentioned, somebody who's very important to a program that we have coming up, which Holly also, she is in the running for the reading of Miss Van Galen's books. But somebody else who is also going to be reading stories for the miracle of a community that cares. And he's going to be joining us quite often just to kind of share uplifting stories. Santapapajohn, welcome to the Family Networking Group. How are you doing, my friend?
It's been a very interesting, productive day. So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's had an awesome day. I've had 2 amazing conversations with veteran people and created some very interesting conversation to promote some new projects that are happening, and excited to see where it can go and how I can help veterans get over some of these obstacles and hurdles that they are facing every day. And it's very interesting that the old proverbial, Mr. Zach, is they didn't hesitate to sign on the dotted line. Why do they have to? Thanks, Kurt. Why do they have to hesitate, and why do they have to wait in line to get services when they require services in this country? So, you know, the website, for those that don't know it, is the Warriors Beacon of Hope, and it is growing, and we're going to be positive with it. And yes, I'm so excited to be part of this other project with you, Zach. I mean, 37 hours. How can we, you know, stay awake that long and have so much fun? And we're going to get people giggling and laughing, and we're going to create some stories, and we're going to read some stories, not only from me, but from another Santa in the UK. But Mr. Zach is spending a lot of time. If I know I got late to here to the meeting, but he's spending a lot of time to really make this a mission of his heart, and he has one big heart, and I'm proud to be, helping him with this mission for Christmas time, and it's really what is hopefully going to be the start of many years together.
Yeah, I truly believe it is. Hey, Santa, you've got about a minute and minute and 15 seconds left. Can you tell us what is Santa approved?
Well, Santa Approved is a program that I created with this badge right here, and I take it so seriously. Yeah, still working on the new background. Got to figure out which side it's on. But Zach, I take it very seriously, and I even filed the paperwork for a trademark, and I was granted that 2 weeks ago. So that badge is officially mine. Santapapajohn is got a program where he can allow businesses to partake in his mission to be Santa approved as long as they meet certain criteria. And it's not that difficult, but I had to eliminate the drugs and the alcohol and the cigarettes. And of course, we don't want lawyers at all. So, we're going to have fun with it. But, I'm on a mission like you are to build a better platform to help people create happiness, positivity, and sharing and caring about their fellow business people.
Well, I know that I am thrilled, and I tell people all the time, and you'll see it in just a minute. It's going to be popping up right by Holly. Community Pay It Forward is Santa approved. So, oh, and by the way, for those of you, and Holly, this happened to you last time you and I were together. I told her, okay, it's going to show up right now. And she was like, I don't see anything. That's actually going to come up during post-production. So, but it's going to be right over there by Holly. It will show up. So, but I want to thank you for joining us, Santa. Hey, one of the other things, guys, for a donation, if you want Santa to maybe shout out your kids' name for a donation, that can happen. Those donations go to purchase books for hospitals all over the world. So just remember that. It's a great thing, and we've got a couple Santa Clauses that are just going to be able to sit there. They're going to say, "Hey, little Jimmy, little Susie, Merry Christmas from Santa Claus." It's just going to be something that's real fun. People have asked me if I was going to be the elf, and I have to tell them, nope, I can't be the elf because the elf cannot be fatter than Santa Claus. So it just doesn't work that way. So my name is Zach Clayton. I am the founder of Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PAC channels, where our mission is to help everybody. People tell me that I'm crazy, that you can't help everyone. Those are people that I just don't think understand. If we work together, there's nothing we can't do. So if every single one of us helps one person, we're well on our way to making a difference. What you see around us are a group of people that if you make purchases from, they will donate to a cause that has asked us for help, and you get to choose where that cause goes. We have a program called Shop, Click, and Pick. So if you want to go to Holly and retrain yourself to get rid of those things that don't belong to you, you hire her, she's going to give us a portion of that that's going to, and at least 75% of that is going to go to somebody who's asked us for help, and you get to tell us where that goes. Whether it's a nonprofit, it's people who are trying to do good in the community. It's our veterans, which you've heard a lot about veterans, people who are struggling with mental health, or even your kids who are trying to raise money for projects in school, church, or club activities. Or maybe it's just your next door neighbor who fell, slipped, broke their leg, can't go to work for 6 to 8 weeks. You know what? Paychecks stop, but the bills never do. So join us at communitypayupforward.us, which was artfully crafted by somebody you see on the screen right now, whose name starts with Mr. Z. So, let's, we came up with this question right as we were coming on together. And Holly, I'd like to get your question or your answer on this. What is something that happens every once in a while that really gets your juices flowing again with your company, that excites you again? Is there something that happens that you're like going, yes, I realized I'm pumped up again. I've made the right decision. This is what I want to be doing.
Oh, Zach. You already know the answer to this. It's any time that somebody reaches out to me. There's so many different avenues that are out there, and I know that there's always something. So as soon as somebody reaches out and just says, "Hey, can we talk?" I'm like, yes, we can. Because I have a saying, you don't know what you don't know. And it's a silly little saying, but it's so true that, until, I've been doing this trauma recovery coaching, and it wasn't until I came upon the Reset It program that I figured out that I was missing something in my recovery program. And so it was something that I didn't know existed. I had never heard of resetting things that didn't belong to you. I was very curious. I didn't understand it. And I had, a wonderful program going. It was, beautiful. It was working quite well. And when I came upon the Reset It program and I understood it and I went through it myself, the light bulb moment of, oh my gosh, this is what I'm missing in my program. It was such a quick little flip. I knew it from my core. And so when I was offered the opportunity to become certified as a Reset It specialist, it didn't, the money that it cost to do the program was not even a thought. It was the most amount of money I've ever spent on any one big thing in this realm. And it was also the most exciting. And even when questioned by my husband about it and asked me, well, how much was it? And I told him, he was like, okay.
After you splashed the water and woke him up again?
I was literally looking at another program about a month prior, and it was half the price of this program. It was thousands and thousands of dollars. And I was looking at that, and I was hemming and hawing and pondering and questioning. Even got my husband on a Zoom call to talk to this other, person doing the program. And I was about 24 to 48 hours away from making that decision when I was offered to do the Reset It program. And I instantly said yes, and I knew it was double. And that was it.
Well, I know that I know both. First off, I know your story personally. You and I have talked about it a couple times. You can go back and you can watch Holly's story, which is truly, truly tragic. And the reason why you started the reason why you started your program, your personal program, is to help people because you lost a dear friend to something that, was beyond your control, which nobody should ever have to uh, be put in that situation. But you really wanted to make sure that somebody had somewhere to go with that. Did anybody have any questions from Holly about what she said that keeps her going? No? Okay. Kurt, what is something that happens to you that makes you go, yep, this is it. I'm in the right place.
Well, I mean, I guess it's like we've been already speaking to here, the happiness, peace, love, and joy, the virtues, the do-gooding, the bleeding heart thing. To me, when we can kind of get that charitable thing imbibed and the humanitarian efforts, and be the channels of good news, and kind of shower people with such goodness that that you kind of find people start not to come back with that, maybe story that might have had a negative thing in it. Now, sure, negative things happen, like on, Monday with Project Die Hard, or veteran service organization that takes a concerted effort fighting veteran suicide. It was quite a little bit like like Saturday Night Live said, being verklempt, because and it was a solemn moment because we were doing our podcast, our live stream with Project Die Hard, Mission Monday. And then we're at the tail end of it. We're with a band that's going to be performing for us to support veterans through Project Die Hard and the mission on Saturday. And so we're learning about their band and their music, and they were jamming for us and all this stuff. And at the tail end of the show, Brian had to beg off the show because he was getting a call from a family, from from a mother. And so basically we were getting back on the Facebook chats right during the show that we lost another veteran. We lost to suicide. And to have that happen right during a show when you're on the mission to make sure that doesn't happen, I mean, and serendipity or divine intervention, whatever you want to call it, to me, it's like, I'm supposed to be here because that just happened. And there's a reason that sacrifice, happened right in the midst of, in our efforts. It's kind of a little nudge to amp it up. And Brian always talks about how we're coming up to the spike. So in the realm of suicide prevention, it's coming up, and that's, woven into the intentions here with, a miracle of a community that cares. So to me, that's what really imbibes me, is when we get to the point of saving lives. My wife and I were EMTs for 10 years, pre-hospital care, and to answer that 911 call is rewarding, be able to help that way, but to also enter into the preventative side of it, and to be like with the six of you here, that we're all troubadours to people out there kind of in the same intention, to help rise up over and above these things. And doors have been opening, and it just gets grander and grander, the response.
To the family of the young person who took their life, all of us. I don't like speaking for everyone, but I'm pretty damn sure I can say that our love is with you and your family, and we are devastated to hear about another loss. Kurt, one of the things that I know, and I've had a personal understanding of what you just talked about was 2 years ago, in 2023, right, just weeks before the 22-hour podcast that we do for veteran suicide. I had a relative take their own life. And so I was sitting there for that entire 22 hours talking about something as painful as people taking their lives. And I had to sit there and live knowing that somebody who was very, very close to me took their life. And that's very, very hard to do. And it's, I mean, it's just, and Holly, I know that this kind of ties into what you do as well, because when you're talking to someone who's been assaulted, there's that knowledge that, you're trying so hard to help them out. You on a one-on-one basis know exactly real close to what they're going through. So, does anybody have anything that they would like to ask or say to Kurt on this? I know, Alan, this really touches your heart.
Well, Kurt, you know that as a resident veteran, whenever we hear something like this, and now I understand, I know that we didn't see you on Wednesday on the show that I had, but now I understand why. And if you speak to Brian, let him know that as a veteran, this is why we do what we do as veterans. We do not forget. And when when someone takes their own life as a veteran, I have to pause for a minute, because a lot of times people conjure up words and we understand how you feel. We don't understand. But we are here to support you, and let Brian know that this gentleman is the mother right now. There's so many emotional things she's going through. There's going to be a dinner that's not had, a seat that's not going to be taken, Christmas, and it's going to be on and going on. And then there's the extended families and the nieces and everything. But rest assured, this soldier, this veteran, this U.S. Army 13 Bravo loves and honors this man, this soldier, and we will never forget him. Just let Brian know that. And I know he's close to you, brother. And if I keep talking, I will get emotional. But one thing I learned, that when my brother who got hit and killed, my brother-in-law got hit and killed March 5th, 2020. I remember getting it. My wife actually got the phone call, and I actually had to take it, and I thought it was something that was, and then I immediately within 72 hours, I was down at the mortuary and everything else, and I'm still battling through that. But I share that with you is because veterans, family members, children, it affects us all, but nothing like the deep soul of that family right there. So my heart, my prayers, please let Brian know that I love him. And if he needs a phone call, I'm here. I'm here for you and your family, because sometimes we can pretend and act like it doesn't happen. And thank goodness, Holly, you're here in the room, and I don't know your story, but I'm sending prayers for you. And it is great individuals like yourself who has that experience and education to support us when we don't know what to say, but I want to end by saying thank you, Zach, for allowing me to add to my thing. But it's about we're a collective unit. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, military families across the world. My heart goes and my prayers, and I will say a prayer and continue to say a prayer for this young soldier. We will not forget. We will not forget. We will not forget him. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Alan, why don't you go on ahead and tell us what is the thing that keeps you going? What's that one thing that happens every once in a while that you're like, I'm in my sweet spot?
Well, this part of it is this conversation. They say the elephant in the room. The other part is knowing that people who know me, this is the real Alan. This is not just on the Zoom. This is, if I was there in public, I would probably be handing out tears. But that's what drives me is when someone says, okay, we're going to turn the page tomorrow. Well, somebody's going to turn the page tomorrow, and that person is not going to be there. I never forget. I go back to when I got out. I got out 3 days before the Gulf War started, And I remember in Germany when I was ETSing, and I said I cannot leave. And my platoon sergeant told me, he said, "You have to go. You're being you were being deployed, but you know your time is up, so you got to go." I said, "Oh." He said, "Just promise never forget a veteran and stay by the phone." Now that was 5 years later because I got my honorable discharge in 1995, even though I got out in '90. But that is what keeps me going because when I have conversations like this, these hard conversations, I know that the Marines, the Army, the Air Force, then they say everyday families, and then we see the commercials and all the different things. Part of me, we have this thing called survivor's guilt. But what really keeps me going is the training that I've had. I took this class called Crisis Management, Crisis and Family to Family. It's a mental health and National Alliance of Mental Illness gives out. And I actually took the class because the individuals told me, they said, your wife hears voices. Soldiers have PTSD. So we had to do this training. We had to cup our ears, and they said, okay, now imagine you cup your ears. That's what it's like when somebody hears voices. And be honest, like a lot of people, didn't understand it, and I didn't believe it. But then I realized that if they believe it, then it's true. So we have to, as a human being, a human connection. That's why I call myself a human connector, because I never know who I'm going to meet. And it's not about business all the time. Sometimes it's about just checking in, making sure everybody's okay. Mrs. E, everybody knows that I'm to the world. I'm big unk, meaning that, hey, we don't have children of our own, but I watch children like they were my own. I want to make sure that they're okay. Young lady, go ahead. Where's your mama at? Where's your, that's where the little sense of humor at. Okay, young man, or did you do your homework? And I do see through screens, so I'm always over there as I zoom around the country. But I love that. This is what makes me doing what I'm doing, because I love to being disconnected. Let me be the hub to your resource, and if I don't have it, I'll find it. Because the military taught me being up there I don't want to make any promises I can't keep, but I have no problem being on the phone. I get up at 3 a.m. and I go to bed at 8. And sometimes I'm there. But if I get that phone call, then knock on the door, then it's time to just say, okay, let's get started. But before I get on my soapbox anymore, again, thank you. That's what I know. It's a long-winded answer to exactly, I am. If you give me more, I have more. But this is why I do what I do, because it's not about me. It's about we. It's about taking our gift that God has given us and drifting it and touching somebody else's heart and making a difference in somebody else's life. And you'll be amazed at what can happen. Just reach one to teach one. So thank you again for an amazing panel. I love each and every one of you like you're my own deep family. Thank you so much.
I love that. I love that saying, I really do. I like how it, we always tell people that you can't, until you save that first one, you can't save them all. You have to help that first person. Does anybody have anything that they would like to add to Alan or ask Alan?
I'd like to make a comment.
Yes.
If I may, everything that Specialist Alan had mentioned, he does speak from the heart. Definitely someone who always looks out for your best interests, whether it's bringing awareness to mental health awareness, those living with TBI, and even though I'm just the civilian, but it's nice to know that he treats everyone like you're a part of his platoon, and it's about not just me, but about we. And I agree with Specialist Alan 1,000%. We're in this together. So thank you for your services, Specialist Alan, from all of us. Thank you.
Mr. Papa John. I know.
He's been woke everybody up.
I hope no, everybody's awake here. Everybody's awake here. So I know you've got some stories on what makes you keep going.
The news of I was driving Monday, so I couldn't be on that phone call. I normally partake in that phone call on with Kurt and Brian. I'm normally on that every Monday night to show my support, to show my gratitude, to show my respect And that's a kick in the teeth. And unfortunately, that's one of the driving forces to create this new list that I'm building. There has to be an alternative choice for waiting 6, 8, 10 months for services. And it's a mission. And I had two great conversations with veterans that run veteran organizations today, and they are both not necessarily excited, but they're very enthusiastic to see where this is going to go, and if we can help, like Kurt and Brian and Sue does every Monday, just talking to our veterans, just offering them hope and assistance, and there is light at the end of the tunnel if we can offer them some guidance maybe on what is out there, alternative to waiting for the VA solution. To wait for that length of time is not acceptable anymore, and we know that there are other choices out there, and we need to provide you know our veterans with different solutions to their problems. They can't be put on the back burner. They can't be pushed to the side. They need to find and utilize these services that are available out there. And that is one of the big missions. Santapapajohn is excited about some big new deals happening with a new platform that is launching and is getting excited, and they're backing me all unbelievable. So I'm going to be reading live stories to the children every Wednesday night now, starting next week, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting, but there's a lot of families out there that a simple little video to wish someone happy birthday, a little video to say hello, even someone passing in the street. You know, we've become a society where this is our priority, and the hell with this person and the hell with that person. That has to change, and we need to be more acceptable to realize the people are around us. Whether it's a simple hello, how's your day going, opening a door for our seniors, talking to our seniors. Some of our seniors, they come out of their house, they haven't talked to anybody for, I don't know, pick a day, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, because they only go out once a week. We need to start talking to them. They are just as important to our society as everybody else. But it's all those little things that we do to help other people is going to change this world to be a better place. And, living in a shell, living in a hole, living in a whatever you want to call it, and coming out and talking to people. That's what I say in my videos every day, Brian or Zach. Uh, it's as simple as saying hello, how's your day going? Share a smile, share some happiness. The world's a pretty ugly place out there, and we all need to step up and do a little bit better to help the neighbors, to help someone down the street, to help Alan. Because Alan likes to smile too, even when he's in a bad spot. And, when we say hello with a little enthusiasm, because that's might all it might take.
That's very true. And when Santa says it, it's got to be true, right?
Yep.
So, uh, Mr. Z, I know that we're coming up towards the top of the hour, so I want to give you a chance. What is it that keeps you going?
Just being alive. And I'm going to take Santa's advice and say, hello. It's great to be here, and hello, world. Uh, people think of websites as a means to sell products and try to sell your services, but it goes deeper than that. There are causes out there that people can't bring awareness to without sending the message to the world. Whether it's bringing awareness to, dare I say, veteran suicide, veteran PTSD, survivor's guilt. There's a thing out there, which the media is very hush hush about, called human trafficking. There are certain lists out there that we all know of that's not being exposed to protect the elites. But there are people out there that actually care about making this world a better place. So people are willing to invest in having a website or an app that you're currently building, brother man, to bring awareness to these causes. Saving our planet is a big priority. I mean, as far as I know, we only have one planet that we can live on as we speak. And our animal species are on the verge of extinction due to pollution, corporate greed, and in some cases, ignorance. Save a few $1 million just to dump your chemicals in a nearby lake instead of disposing it properly to keep the world going as it should be. Some people might say that global warming is a hoax. Okay, that might be the case for some people, but our ozone layer says differently. And of course, brother man, being an advocate of the Americans with Disabilities Act and all differently abled ways of living on a worldwide basis is something that most people don't talk about unless it happens to them. It's about planting the seeds, and what better way to spread the good word of your services is through the community pay it forward program. Everyone here has a cause that they want to support. This is the channel to bring awareness to your cause that everyone should know about or wants to know more about. So that's what gets me out of bed every morning, knowing that there's hope, that we can share the information in the right way and not for scaring tactic and scaring tactical ways. But our chances of making this world a better place is even greater, knowing that we're all here. Back to you, brother man.
Hey, you know what? And I just, real quick question here. I think the one thing that I heard about everybody's answer, and I'd like to, see if you all agree with me. You can't be afraid to face issues head on and talk about them, right? I mean, if you find yourself in a position where you would rather just put yourself in a, in the turtle position, in a fetal position and walk away, we're not going to make any difference. So, real quickly, Holly, is there anything people can do to improve you today? Is there anything that you can offer to improve someone else?
If you have a question and you don't know if there is an answer or solution, I, would love a 30-minute chat. And that goes with anybody. If you know of somebody that has invasive thoughts that are inevitably controlling who they are, or if you know of a woman who has had sexual abuse, or even something simple as somebody wanting a little healthier way of living without the use of medication, I would love the conversation. Yeah. And
You're going to
whenever
be able to, yeah. Well, and thank you, Holly. Thank you again for joining us. All the information, all the contact information can be found on the links connected to this event. So if you want to get a hold of Holly, I really suggest that even if it's just a, I saw you, I want to meet you. Look, her story is very, very powerful, and her programs are wonderful. So, but thank you, Holly, for joining us again. Hey, Kurt, real quick, if you're still there, how can someone help you, and how can you help someone else right now? And of course, you went running away from us. So, Mr. Z, let's go with you. How can someone, what can someone help you with? How can you help someone else right now?
Well, help me help you. Bring awareness to these causes. And a couple of things I forgot to mention about is a lack of research for medical uses. There are cancer survivors who have survived, and when they're going through their chemotherapy, people were saying, hurrah, hurrah, you're making it through. But once they survive, they forgot about them. So why don't we help each other out by giving it forward and the community pay it forward? That's how you can help me. And let's help everyone else if possible. You can do
That's
this.
that's fantastic.
You're fantastic.
Santa,
Yes, sir. What did I
how can
miss?
someone help you right now, and what can you do to help someone else?
The Warriors, beacon of hope. Share that to everybody. Let's build this list for our veterans. I'm looking for groups, organizations, and businesses that support and help our veterans. Santapapajohn, I'm reading stories. I'd love to get you Santa approved. If you want to know more about that, reach out to me. I'd love to have a discussion with you. And let's create a happier world, one smile at a time.
I see. Yes, please. Alan, how can someone help you? How can you help someone else?
Well, someone can help me by just sharing the no card that I have that I put in there, or your destiny begins here.com, which is Mr. Z put that incredible platform together that I could not have done without him. And how I can help others is, well, Mr. Zach, you have a surprise. I literally just talked to this guy about an hour. He's on your calendar. Is a gentleman named Neil Wright. He is with the incredible peace, love, and organization that God gave him this gift. And he told me he was going to be talking to you next week. I said, oh, I met him on Alignable. I don't believe in coincidences. So we're just going to, he actually offered me a position on the board, which I normally don't say yes to, but now I'm full board into it. So somehow, some way it's going to be wrapped around giving back to the community paid forward, because after all, community is the essence of business. I'm the master connector for building it, and I could not have done it without knowing my brother from another, Mr. Zach Clayton, and all you incredible panels here today. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to be here. Love you, Santa Papa. Holly, nice to meet you. Kurt, behave yourself.
Out of here too. Thanks, Zach. Thanks, Holly.
Thanks, Z.
Thanks, Mr. Z, and Alan, of course. Conversation always.
And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
just gonna
Ready for that directory.
and I'm just gonna say that, you know what? The best way that you can help me is never shut up. I'm gonna tell you to do what your parents always told you not to do. Never shut up. Because even when you don't think that people are paying attention, you can change somebody's outlook just by continuing to talk. The smallest things that you say can mean the world to somebody, and you don't even know that it's happening. Think of it this way. How many times have you been in a grocery line, you hear somebody in front of you say something, and it makes you remember, oh my God, I've got to get this done. If we never shut up, there's something that can be said that can change someone's life forever. Please join us next month, December 12th, and everyone's invited. Come and join us. Tell stories of inspiration, tell stories of positivity, and stories of love. Share your story and never shut up. Holly, Kurt, Emily, Santa, Alan, and Mr. Z, thank you. And to everyone, please love somebody out there, because somebody out here loves you. Make sure that you always remember that if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. No one needs to go it alone when we all come together. Thank you all for joining us, and I hope to see you again next month.